Thank you for joining us. Going to do another whole verse out of 1 John chapter 1. Going to do verse 2. If you said, give me some pads, I could go, here, I'll give you this. But Jesus didn't ever say, I'm going to just give you life. Instead, he said, I am the life, and you can't have everlasting life unless you have me. You know, and so you can't say, give me some John. You know, I would have to give you me. That's why in John, not 1 John, but in John chapter 1, it says in verse 4, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. And in John 14:6, he said, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. And in John chapter 6, Jesus said, you have to eat my flesh and drink my blood to have life in you. Huh? You have to receive me into your life in the same way that you would receive food into your body. I cannot give you everlasting life apart from me. You have to have me in your life. 1 John chapter 5, verse 12, who knows when we're going to get there, but it says, whoever has the Son, S-O-N, has the life. And whoever doesn't have the Son doesn't have the life. In John 1:12, as many as received him, to them he gave power to become sons of God. And so what he's saying here is everlasting life is in the person, Jesus Christ, who existed in eternity. He took on flesh, he lived that sinless life, and he died the death that we deserve. And then he says, you have to receive me into your life. I can't stand back separate from you and give you eternal life. I have to give you me. I stand at the door and knock. You receive me, and I come in, and we have fellowship. And so that's why Baptists talk a lot about having Jesus come into your heart. Ask Jesus into your heart. You're not asking Jesus to give you eternal life. You're asking Jesus to give you himself, for him to come live within you. So here's 1 John 1:2. The life that John was talking about in verse 1 was manifested. We saw him. John 1:18, he declared God. In John 14:9, Jesus said, whoever's seen me has seen the Father. You know, I'm God in the flesh. The life was manifested, brought out in the open where you could see it. We have seen and testify and proclaim to you that eternal life which was with the Father and was manifested to us. In eternity past, Jesus always was. He was the second person of the Trinity. But on his ministry, on his mission, he was manifested to us. And we saw God in the flesh live for 33 years and then go to the cross. So, when he said, whoever's seen me has seen the Father, he was saying, you want to know what God's like? Here I am. Watch me live. And you want to have everlasting life? Well, I'll give you everlasting life, but that life is in me. You have to receive me into your life. And so it says in Romans 8:9, whoever doesn't have the Spirit of Christ is not his. There you go. Have a great day.